Welcome to Sikky Manufacturing, where they like to do things big, really big. This is James, the founder of Sikky Manufacturing, the man with a plan here. We are standing in your 60,000 square foot facility in Baltimore, Maryland. I guess it started smaller than this, though. Maybe you can take us back to the beginning and how you started this whole business.
Yeah, much smaller. So it all started literally in my parents' garage in suburbia.
Okay.
So I was a kid back then, 18 years old, started a regular performance shop, just like you would, picture these days with Hondas
yeah,
and
of course.
engine swaps. So we basically ran out of that garage for 2 or 3 years until the neighbors got me kicked out by calling zoning. So that was like my forced into the real world.
Yeah.
Had to rent our first building. I think it was 900 square feet.
Okay.
Built that place up, expanded, couldn't get anything done in there anymore, tripping over all of our own tools and parts and whatnot. So moved down towards Baltimore, where close to where we are now actually.
Okay.
That was about 15,000 square feet. Filled that up. A couple years later, we just couldn't get it done anymore. Spending 2 hours a day pulling cars in and out. Couldn't shut the doors at night, just too much going on, busted at the seams. And here we are now, 60,000 square feet.
So that first business was called JE Performance.
Yep.
And James Evans, JE, you see what he did there?
Super creative.
It's very creative. So from there, you somehow got into the distribution business.
Correct, yeah. So we had been looking for Motul product, and there wasn't any distributors on the East Coast back then. And I was road racing a lot of the time and needed some good brake fluid. So reached out to Motul. They needed distribution on the East Coast, so we set up P1 Performance, and then that company just grew from there. We can continue to add new brands, and we kind of are more of a boutique distributor, so we're more on the technical side of things. We tell people what they need to get and why, and help them when they need to make a decision on turbo size or what have you. But
so you're a Garrett wholesaler now, and what are some of your other big?
Some of the other ones would be a Garrett, Motul, CSF radiators.
I saw Cosmos wheels too. Is that one of your brands?
Cosmos, Fortunato. There's literally probably 30 different brands. So we're not like your giant warehouse distributor these days, but we kind of focus on one brand.
And it sounds like a lot of the stuff that you distribute is stuff that you were using in your own racing and with JE and then with your drifting, which I assume the drifting kind of launched Sikky. Is that how that evolved?
Correct, yeah, it's kind of the natural evolution of the market. Obviously we started JE as like a Honda shop doing engine swaps like everyone was doing, and then kind of Hondas were dying down, not as fun, and a lot of the Nissan stuff was coming along, like SR20 swaps and 240s and RBs, and that kind of was happening about the same time. I was still road racing, and we were at a road race event, and they had the first ever drift competition. It was local at Summit Point.
Okay.
So I was like, hell, I had my Z32, stock twin turbo Z. I haven't had like lowering springs and exhaust on it. And I said, hey, I'll take it out there. And
I'm a pro drifter.
yeah, it was like Vaughn getting in it. A hand, probably 20 other guys. Vaughn got first. I got third, and I literally ripped a donut during my run, which anyone that follows drifting knows that nowadays that's a zero. So it was pretty funny back then, the evolution of drifting, even from way back then till now. But that kind of got us started in all the swaps and Nissan, so we were heavy into doing that. And then the LS1 swap craze came along, and there wasn't too many people doing it back then, and we said, hey, we can make a better mousetrap here and like develop a product that is like high level quality, fits right. And that's kind of what Sikky was born from that concept, and grew from there.
James has been a bit of a bad influence back at the Speed Academy shop. You may have seen us put one of these hydro e-brake handles into Connie Celica or Celica, say it the Canadian way or the American way. We're all friends here. Obviously a lot more goes on here than just making e-brakes, although those are cool and flashy. A good showpiece, aren't they? Your engine mounts are obviously made of billet as well.
Yep.
This is sort of one of your core products, I guess. It's kind of what you're known best for.
Correct, yep.
And this is LS into something. What is this going into, James?
Yeah, so this is actually an S14.
Is this still one of your best-selling kits, the S chassis stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we've expanded into the BMWs, even Toyota Supra, but we still sell a lot of the Nissan stuff. It's kind of our bread and butter.
Yeah, you're working on an FRS over there too, which is pretty cool to see.
Yep, that's in development now. We've got E46 in development, just wrapped up E36 and E30, so those are all out there ready to buy if you need them.
Cool. So what other stuff are you making over in the CNC area here?
Today we're actually on our VF4. We're cutting oil pan flanges. We make all our oil pans in-house. So unique aspect of our oil pans, we start with a 1/2 inch aluminum plate, and that's what it looks like when we start off. This particular run, we nested e-brake handles in the middle of our oil pan, so
yeah,
kind of 2 birds with 1 stone. But we also run a heavy-duty 1/2 inch back plate, so it kind of mimics the structural rigidity of an OEM LS pan, where none of the other pan manufacturers are doing that. A lot of them don't even have a back plate, and they just run like a dust shield to cover up the flywheel. So,
oh really?
Yeah, this makes that OE design.
I can see you've got one of your e-brake handles on the machine here. You've got a bunch of different designs, right?
Yeah, we offer a bunch of different colors at the moment, and we basically have a second operation that after anodizing we come back and do the etching and then actually cut the edge of the e-brake. It gives it that nice like diamond cut like you see on like a wheel or something.
Yeah, so I love that look.
It definitely, and the anodizing is more than just looks too. It hardens the aluminum and actually helps to fight corrosion that you would typically get like a white powdery look after years of not
oh, is that right?
anodizing. So
okay,
keeps it looking good and working good the whole time.
Look at this intricate little piece. They do a lot more than just engine mounts and e-brake handles here. They can make some really detailed stuff. This is part of your shifter kit.
Yep.
This is for the T56?
This one's a T56 Magnum, but we do make them for the regular T56 as well. It's a short shifter, but it also relocates it, so we have a bunch of different lengths from 4-inch, 7-inch, 9-inch, and in between. But basically, instead of cutting the tunnel up on your car when you're swapping it, you can put one of these shifters on it and it relocates it back to the factory hole. So everything looks OEM from the inside of the car. It makes it really nice. So, and it doesn't matter if you're swapping a 69 Chevelle or a 350Z.
Yeah.
This shifter will work on any T56 Magnum transmission, and what you're holding is the forward shift rod. So that's what she does in position.
Right.
You can see it.
Yeah, wow.
Selects the gear back there.
Yeah,
so
this is a good look at it too here. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you kind of imagine most companies outsourcing, but you go through the trouble to engineer and make all this in-house.
Yeah, it's the only way we found that we can control the quality, and we're big on trying to make as much as we can in the USA. Obviously things like bolts and stuff like that, it gets harder and harder to find them made in USA, but everything that we can control, we either make ourselves or make sure it's made in USA. But yeah, these shifters, we make every component on here other than the bolts.
That's impressive. And that obviously gives you total quality control in a sense, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah. We can make sure that everything's double checked, and when the shifter leaves, it's fully functional and will last a long time.
Beautiful. Well, why don't we tiptoe over to the welding section here and see if the welder wants to go to SEMA or not. I guess we know the answer to that question, and we're taking a look at some of these oil pans. These are obviously your LS swap oil pans.
Yep.
So they start life with this sort of pre-bent bottom portion to which you add your flange and so on?
Correct, yeah, the flange we were just showing you, basically these pieces get assembled on there. We put this windage tray set up in there with our
trap doors,
and the windage tray goes on top of that. So LSs are traditionally known to have some oiling issues, and some of them are surrounded the factory pan, especially on your LS1s. There's no baffling, no windage tray, so the oil, you can suck that sump dry real quick.
Yeah.
So these pans solve the oil pan related oiling issues. You still have drain back problems and things like that, but for the most part, we get enough oil in here where a long sweeper, really hard cornering, you're not going to suck this sump dry.
Right.
These trap doors are going to keep the oil around the pickup tube so you don't starve your engine.
Right.
But yeah, once we assemble all these different components, the final step on these before they get leak checked is they go back in the CNC machine one more time, and this gets serviced, so make sure it's perfectly flat and glass smooth. That way we don't have any leak issues. But
look at this pretty flower pot, Peter. I take that home for my wife. That is a really nice looking merge collector, and you actually make these in-house.
Yeah, so we add the V-band and weld it up, and then it gets assembled to the full assembly in our header jigs.
So this is your E30 LS header?
This is an E36 LS.
E36, sorry.
Yep, so it's designed to fit around our mount kit and bolt into the chassis. This is the actual passenger side, so the driver's side is a little more complicated because of the steering column, but it fits like a glove flows really well, and all CNC mandrel bent, so.
So you make headers for all your V8 swap kits?
Correct, yeah. I mean, it's kind of, our mount kits are a complete solution. We engineer everything to fit together. Not really meant to be like pieced together using one manufacturer's parts here and there. You can't guarantee everything's gonna fit right. So we try to make every component possible just to make sure that everything fits perfect and you don't have any pull your hair out moments while you're doing the install. And,
right.
You know, we've all been there.
Oh
so
yeah, every day.
That is, that's our goal is to eliminate that aspect. So.
And you do make some headers for non-swap cars as well, right?
Yeah, one of our most popular ones is the Lexus ISF, RSF, and GSF headers. To date, we make the most power with our header, and this is a passenger side version of our latest 1 7/8" runners. All stainless steel, TIG welded.
Beautiful. And how much power did it make?
We have dyno proven numbers anywhere from 45 to 50 wheel horsepower. So
wow.
It's pretty ridiculous.
That's a big jump. Yeah.
You know, we put a lot of dyno time into them just to figure out all the different aspects, and just to get to this design, we made probably 5 or 6 different prototypes.
James, being a former professional drifter, now he's just a professional businessman.
Washed up.
He's taking care of you guys with some really cool stuff here. These are winter-based quick change rear ends?
Yep, so yeah, it's a quick change rear. It's made by Winters, but it's spec to our specifications to be as extremely durable and just last, season after season. So we put a little spin on some things there. And this one is our Pro 1000 rear end, so it's literally, it'll hold over 1,000 horsepower.
Wow.
Been proven. I ran the same exact rear in my car for 2 seasons, and I was making about 1,000 and just abusing the crap out of it. So no issues there. But we also make a Pro 1500 version that has an upgraded lower shaft, and
wow.
Most people are using for drifting, but there's guys running them drag race cars now,
okay.
even road race cars. So
really?
The other thing we do is we make a subframe that makes this thing an easy bolt-in operation, whereas before you'd have to fabricate your own brackets and you're unsure of diff placement and making sure your pinion angles are right. So we use our ferro arm, which is basically a CMM, scan the bottom of the car, locate the points for the drive shaft, the axles under full load, like squatted, as well as sag. So we can position that differential absolutely perfect to the level like an OEM manufacturer would take into consideration when they're designing a vehicle.
Still weirding my brain out seeing an LS and an FDRX7 here, but it is important to note that you guys don't just manufacture parts, you'll actually do the swap for people. If they're not the DIY types, they can bring it here to JE and you will install the motor.
Correct. So not only does JE provide like a install service, but we can do a turnkey build. So you don't even have to have a car necessarily. We can take it from 0 to 100 and put everything you need in the car, wiring, coolant system, dyno tune it, out the door kind of deal. So it's a nice thing for somebody that wants it done right by the experts, and it's available on every product that we make.
350Zs, I guess, are probably one of your more popular kits these days?
Yes, definitely. They're constantly growing too as the Z prices come down.
Yeah.
It's going to be the 240 of the future. But yeah, right now we've got some R&D going on with some Z parts. This happens to be a new mount kit, so we already make a Z mount kit, but we made a new design that pushes the motor a lot further back. A lot of the guys are running turbos these days, so they need a little extra room out front for manifolds, crossover pipes, what have you. So this one has 3D printed mounts on it. We just printed these a couple days ago. Kind of developing this kit in conjunction with our CD09 adapter plate, which will basically allow you to use your factory 6-speed Nissan transmission with the LS motor. So it's a pretty neat product. We're not the first to market, but we will have the first SFI rated flywheel, and ours plate's fully machined, so it's perfectly flat, perfect alignment for the input shaft.
So over here on the JE side, it looks kind of like your typical performance shop, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it functions that way too, and we do general maintenance labor all the way up to turbo builds, dyno tuning, all that kind of stuff. So it also, JE acts as Sikky's R&D arm, so we'll have kind of, it's like an ear to the ground of what's going on, what customers need on their cars. Sometimes an opportunity will come along where a customer needs a particular component, nobody makes it yet. we say, hey, you know, this is actually something we could mass produce and sell to other people, and that's kind of how it moves into Sikky's realm. So we work well together. There you go.
What is this?
It's not
True
an LS.
It's not an LS. They do everything here, really. It's not just LS swaps. So the Dyno Room is also probably one of my favorite places at any shop, just because that's where the horsepower gets made. And I'm not about turning those wrenches, Peter. I'm about taking horsepower to the racetrack. And you guys have 2 dynos in here?
Yeah, so we do like regular dyno tuning just like any performance shop, but we also use it for all our R&D. So we're developing a new set of headers. You know, it's the best place to put that to the test and, you know, see the difference in gains between one design to the next and, you know, upgrades. So if we change runner design or shape or size or collector length, like there's all kinds of things. And the Dynapack dyno is probably the most accurate, repeatable from our experience out there, where, you know, you can measure minute changes like spark plug gap, whereas the big roller style dynos tend to like mask over that data. So we want as much data as we can get, especially when it comes to product development.
Now we're upstairs in the mezzanine. This place just keeps on going and going. This is like the shipping and packaging area?
Yep, we do a lot of final assembly up here, pack stuff up, you know, bubble wrap, get it all boxed up for the customer, and moves on to the warehouse side from there. But this is incoming, outgoing. So we're doing all of our welding downstairs at the moment, but that's grown to the point where we're going to expand up into this space over here and continue to do packaging, but we moved that up to yet a 3rd level
That's right.
of
It just
assembly.
keeps going up and up and up. Starting to really suffer from lift envy around here. They've got like 8 or 9 of them over in JE side and now in their studio. They beat us to the punch, put in a lift already, and obviously it's a work in progress. It needs a little bit of cleanup, but it's going to be a great space for what you want to do with it.
Yeah, this is the future home of our YouTube videos, basically. So away from the noise and craziness going on in the shop on a daily basis, and allow us to shoot more videos more often, and all of our install guides and stuff will be done in here. But it's an absolute mess at the moment. But
yeah, you know, compared to most shops, it's clean actually. We're now in the brains of the operation. This is where all the sales and I guess like tech support stuff happens over here too.
Yep, customer service, tech support. We even do a lot of our engineering and CAD work on this side of the building. So this is where if you call to order a Sikky product, these are the guys answering the phone and helping you out if you got questions.
James is going to let me take his carbon fiber trophy home, right? That's part of the deal we got here.
Yeah, good.
It's 2014 3rd place carbon fiber trophy, not bad. So this is the showroom for the JE part of the business.
Yep, yeah. If you come here to get your car worked on, and this is where you're greeted, and you know, we go over your build or whatever you want to get done and talk it through and
chill out over there with some car magazines.
Yeah, check out some product displays and all that stuff.
Yeah, you got a lot of good stuff in here. Well, I think that is a wrap on our Sikky Manufacturing JE P1 tour. It's a hell of a facility. It's really impressive what they're doing here. And if you are looking to do a V8 swap into just about anything, go to Sikky.com. Chances are they got what you need. No shop tour would be complete without me trying to steal some swag. Can I take this thing home?
Yeah, man, that's a commemorative shirt from our 2017 block party we're doing annually. So one's coming up this October. Not sure on the date yet, but
okay.
If you're local or in our area, check it out.
Come take a tour and maybe do some donuts in the backyard.
Yeah, sure, why not?